There's bigger rooms.
Pick a room. Okay. Joining us now are Douglas Adams and Terry Jones. They have recently collaborated after a fashion on a book called Starship Titanic, and I think
it's a serial collaboration.
Yes, we think we've collaborated more than we realised, actually.
Yes.
As we've gone on the tour, we've gradually realised that we've actually written the book together, and instead of saying Douglas Adams with Starship Titanic, a novel by Terry Jones, which I have to admit is a bit clumsy. I wouldn't like to have to go into a shop and ask for, could I have Douglas Adams with Starship Titanic, a novel by Terry Jones?
I suppose it's probably sort of listed alphabetically under D rather than S, which is kind of weird. Yeah.
Adams.
No, because the title is Douglas Adams' Starship Titanic, then it would be D. No, it is confusing, and I guess we sort of found ourselves. I mean, there's a perfectly logical route by which we got to be here.
Yeah, but
as events unfolded.
What's the real reason?
What?
Well, there's a logical reason and the real reason.
No. The logical reason is the real reason. But as I say, having found ourselves here, whereas there's actually a much there's a much simpler way of looking at it. It's rather like.
I expect the publishers wanted to get Douglas's name up there first, because let's face it, Douglas does sell a huge amount of books. I mean, vast numbers of books. So by this man sitting behind this microphone. But in fact, it could be Starship Titanic by Douglas Adams and Terry Jones, because in fact Douglas wrote the storyline, characters, and the locations, and I kind of came in and filled the words in between.
Join the dots. Not exactly.
Starship Titanic has one of those really weird origins. I mean, because Douglas.
Well, it goes back a long way. I mean, back when the Earth was young. When dinosaurs roamed the Earth, being filmed
by somebody.
Being filmed by Steven Spielberg. I mean, I want
Chasing Raquel.
Where were we? No, I guess the very, very origin of it was one of these sort of, kind of little sort of detachable paragraphs somewhere in one of the Hitchhiker books, Life, the Universe, and everything. Every now and then, when I would get stuck on the storyline in Hitchhiker, I would just sort of invent another quick one while I was about it, and give it to the the narrator or the guide to tell us about. And this was one of those. It was just a sort of paragraph, I think. And everyone said, "Oh, you should write a book based on that idea." And I thought about it and thought it was too much like a good idea, so I thought I'd avoid that one. I like to make things difficult for myself if I possibly can, so I didn't do it. In fact, partly I think it was because it was an idea about a ship rather than about a person as such. And for a story, you really need an idea about a person. So then later on, many years later, when I'm looking for a really great idea for doing a CD-ROM and a multimedia thing, I'm looking around for an idea, and I suddenly remember Starship Titanic, because the great thing then is it is about a ship, it's about a place, it's about a thing that you put people in.
An environment.
So that suddenly was an absolute natural for doing as a CD-ROM. So it begins to develop in that way, and we sort of get together a team of artists and programmers and so on. This is at this company that I'm a founder member of, the Digital Village in London. And gradually the thing takes shape as this environment with then the backstory, what's led to this environment, and you begin to people it with characters, but that grow out of the situation that's grown out of the environment, then a story grows out of it. And at the point where it suddenly becomes, oh God, we've got to do a novel, which was actually not what I'd signed up to do. I'd signed up to do the CD-ROM. But the publishers say, okay, yes, but it's got to come out absolutely at the same time, the same nanosecond. It has to emerge at the same nanosecond as the CD-ROM. Otherwise, all bets are off. Can't possibly be done.
So we've got the book in front of us, and what year's the CD-ROM coming out?
Next year sometime. No, it's funny. As soon as the CD-ROM slipped, the publisher said, oh, no, that's fine. That's fine, no problem with that. No. But anyway.
Well, it's because they did it.
Yeah.
If you had slipped the book.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, tell me about it. So anyway, so with 5 weeks to go, I can't write the novel because I'm doing the game, and it's 5 weeks, and I can't possibly write a novel in 5 weeks. No, I did do once. I wrote So Long and Thanks for All the Fish in 10 days, but it was a busy 10 days. And I didn't do a lot else. I didn't get to go out. Anyway, so a bit of a panic bit of a panic. And then Terry happens to be coming into the studio because Terry, let me explain to you, there is. I mean, Terry, as we all know, is a great actor, but his greatest performance ever is about to burst forth upon an astonished world when this thing finally arrives, because the part he was born to play was that of a semi-deranged parrot, and this is the part that we asked him to play in this. And he came in, and he came in.
I'm very grateful to Douglas for having given me the opportunity to
be a
my
bird.
life's ambition. Yeah. But actually, Douglas is the only person in the world who'd noticed that when I played Brian's mother in The Life of Brian, Monty Python's Life of Brian. The Virgin Mandy, as we called her, she's the one who says, "He's not a messiah, he's a very naughty boy." And it was Douglas is the only person to realise that the Virgin Mandy, was in fact a parrot. And so, therefore, I sort of decided it was time I should.
Yeah, so Terry came in to talk about the parts, because he really wanted to get under the skin of it, see the parameters of the character development and motivation and so on.
It's quite difficult getting into a parrot's mind, really.
It's very, very, very small. It's a little sort of micro mind.
Well, but when you've got a parrot featured in the book and you're playing a role on the CD-ROM, it's Dead Polly. Comes right to mind.
Polly. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Really? I hadn't got my
I was shocked. My daughter's called Polly. Anyway, so Terry sort of looked at all the stuff that we've been doing, all the graphics and the animations and so on.
I mean, it looks fantastic. When my first thought, it's a feature film. Looking at the graphics they've done.
And he said, "Is there anything else I can do?" I think I was sort of hoping we'd say, "Yes, make a movie right now." And he said, "Well, you want to write a novel?" He said, "Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll write a novel." And so only 5 weeks to go. So he said, "Oh well, 5 weeks. So I'll just do it in the mornings then." And he finished it in 3 weeks, and a damn fine job, I must say, he made of it.
I normally do Douglas's gardening, but it wants novel writing.
And it's terrific and it's great and it's naughtier than I would have written.
Because you've got the woman and the alien over furniture in other rooms.
Yeah.
Well, I was a bit surprised actually when I handed the manuscript into the publishers, the American publishers, and they said, "Yeah, we love it. We really like it." We're quite surprised, But can you tone down the naughty bits, And I was a bit surprised. I thought that's what you put in novels, isn't it? I've never done it before,
But it's very funny, actually.
I'm going to put this sort of thing into a novel. Written a novel. I mean, I've done it. I'm not. It's getting confusing. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to lie down.
It was funny, actually, announcing in various bookstores have been that the publishers said, told us that Terry should cut out their naughty bits, and the crowd goes, "Oh!" I'm saying, no, we are going to put them back in. Oh, thank God, the crowd saying. So obviously, I think the publisher's a little bit out of step with public opinion now, in virtually every way one can imagine. But we love them, really.
Yes.
We love them. We love them. They're all very, very nice people, and I like them a great deal.
And they're listening, so we'll say that.
Yeah.